So we've got some big news, everybody. Really big news. Breaking news. Terrible news. We've got big problems with President Klutin. And thank God for President Joe Biden, who is giving President Klutin one final warning. Of course, Biden is going to enact some pretty harsh sanctions. He is going to expel 10 diplomats who work for President Klutin. But Biden has warned President Klutin that he could have taken much more drastic measures against President Klutin. Now, President Klutin has been warned by President Joe Biden to stop meddling in U.S. affairs. President Biden has warned President Klutin to stop cyber attacks against the Biden administration. President Klutin has been warned by President Joe Biden to pull back from Ukraine and to stop escalating in Ukraine. President Klutin has received these final warnings from U.S. President Biden. I'm going to play a clip for you right now, which features U.S. President Joe Biden talking tough on President Klutin.
I also made clear to President Klutin that the United States. I also made clear to President Klutin that the United States.
President Biden has made it clear to President Klutin that the United States could take much harsher actions against President Klutin if he does not stop his evil ways. Guys, I did a search for President Klutin to find as much information as I possibly could about President Klutin. And during my search, where I plugged into DuckDuckGo, Biden and Klutin, and I believe Klutin is spelled with a K, though I have seen it spelled with a C. It depends, I don't really understand the language that Klutin speaks because it's this strange Cyrillic alphabet, and it could be a K, it could be a C. I'm not quite sure, but I put in a K. And the first image I got is President Joe Biden meeting with President Klutin. Here it is right here. That is President Joe Biden. Actually, when he was Vice President Joe Biden, he traveled to President Klutin's country and he met with President Klutin. During that meeting, when he was alone with President Klutin, he called President Klutin. He said President Klutin has no soul. And then when President Biden was asked by the honorable, honest, Good Morning America journalist George Stephanopoulos if he believed that President Klutin was a killer, Biden said, I do. President Klutin is a killer. So here is President Klutin. Everybody, there may be some more images of Biden with President Klutin. I'm not quite sure. Here he is again, shaking the hand of President Klutin. President Klutin is saying something to Joe Biden, but we don't know what it is. Joe Biden is smiling there. And so that is President Klutin, guys. Now, what can I say about Joe Biden? He has been fighting since a very young age against these types of bullies. One can only go back to when he was working as a lifeguard and he was fighting against Corn Pop. No, not that Corn Pop. Not that Corn Pop, not the cereal, but the thug that was bullying kids at his local pool. Here is Joe Biden talking about his encounter with Corn Pop.
I learned a lot. And I learned that it makes a difference. This was the diving board area, and I was one of the guards, and they weren't allowed to. There was a 3-meter board. If you fell off sideways, you landed on the darn cement over there. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, you show how things had changed. One of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. Well, he came off, And he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight racers. Not a joke. There was a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pulls. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pull filler is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off the 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And in those days, you used to remember the straight race. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty. And I looked at him, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you to get off the board, you get off the board, I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have called you Esther Williams. I apologize for that. I apologize, but I didn't know that apology was going to work. He said, you apologize to me? I said, I apologize for that, not for throwing you out, but I apologize for what I said. He said, okay, and closed the straight razor, and my heart began to beat again. I learned.
So at a very young age, we can see a young Joe Biden fighting these tyrants and fighting these bullies like President Klutin and like he did with Corn Pop. Guys, you know that I like to research things and I like to figure out who exactly are these evil people that Biden has to constantly come up against and constantly have to fight. And I did some research. I did find Corn Pop. Actually, Corn Pop has a web page. It is cornpop.com, but it is spelled with a K. And cornpop.com provides clown services. Yes, clown services. And here is Corn Pop. So this is what happens when you come up against Joe Biden, everybody. People be warned, President Klutin. And of course, we cannot forget the work that Biden is doing in the United States, fighting so that the United States does not experience what he describes as a Jim Eagle period, which would make Jim Crow nothing compared to Jim Eagle. So Biden is fighting for America not to fall into the evil period that he describes as a Jim Eagle period.
As I know, find this despicable. Republican voters, folks outside this White House. I'm not talking about the elected officials. I'm talking about voters. And so I'm convinced that we'll be able to stop this because it is the most pernicious thing. This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle. I mean, this is gigantic, what they're trying to do. As I know.
It is pernicious, what they are trying to do. It is gigantic, what they are trying to do. Biden is fighting for America so that it doesn't experience a Jim Eagle moment. This is Joe Biden. He is fighting against Jim Eagle laws and Jim Eagle voting right restrictions. He is fighting the Corn Pops of the world. And he is fighting President Klutin. How much more can one man take on?
I also made clear to President Klutin that the United States. I also made clear to President Klutin that the United.
Guys, that's the video.